This is Best Ball Study Hall. I am your host, Jeremiah Retzlaff. You can find me on X at Coach Retzlaff1. I have a SuperFlex puppy right now. On the board here, I have Will Levis as my one quarterback. I have a 1-2-3 QB running back receiver build. No tight end so far. My two running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne. My three receivers, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Brandon Ayuk. So at the 1-2 turn, or at least the wraparound picks at 10 and 15, I did not opt to go quarterback. I went with the positional value of Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown on the board. I pushed so much to where I have taken Will Levis as my first quarterback. Is it advisable? I'm not sure, but I'm trying to push quarterback to find out what pockets of this draft I can get some advantage out of, especially within this tournament. Maybe I'll push it too far and not like my quarterback room, but at least by pushing, I can find out how much I can jam in position-wise at running back, receiver, and tight end. The beauty is, with the Custodian quarterback build that we've talked about on Best Ball Night School and that I've been discussing, which we talked about big time with Ray GQ and Destination Debbie, now even in SuperFlex, we can apply that principle as well. So if I get boxed out of quarterback entirely, I may start diving into some backup quarterbacks. So at this part of the draft, I have pick number 82, and I will have pick 87. Calvin Ridley is here at the top of my queue. So what I am going to do, I am going to take some Calvin Ridley, knowing that I have Drake May, who should be able to fall to me. He's at 86 ADP. If he gets taken, I may have to press and push towards some Bo Nix or Justin Fields, but I will cross that bridge when I come to it. So I'm going to click on some Calvin Ridley now. I'm pushing quarterback. I'm going to find out. It could be a fool's errand, but it's something I want to see. I've even spoken to, I want to get some more Calvin Ridley exposure. There is some Calvin Ridley. So this is a SuperFlex puppy build that I have now. I just have my 7th round pick at pick 82. I will have my 8th round pick at pick 87, 5 more picks. So I have right now a Will Levis team stacked with Calvin Ridley. My other 3 receivers, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, and then Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne are my 2 running backs. I don't have a tight end right now. Something neat as well is Jonathan Taylor with Travis Etienne in this build. In the one quarterback builds, I am not getting Taylor and Etienne combined on teams. If I go Taylor early, I am not going to want to click on a running back, particularly Etienne at his ADP where he goes, and vice versa. If I take a receiver early at the 1-2 turn, I may be inclined to go with Travis Etienne, but I do not want to double tap on running back. So it is neat in these SuperFlex contests, getting Taylor and Etienne, these combos of running backs, as the running back becomes more valuable. There are 2 running back spots, remember, and 2 receiver spots that we are filling. It is not the traditional 3 wide receivers that you have to fill versus the 2 running back. So the running back and the receiver position can take a little bit more of an even importance. So that's my team. It's a 1-2-4-0 build for SuperFlex. Right now, I just have Will Levis. I'm hoping Drake May falls to me. And even further down the line, if Drake May doesn't fall to me, I can start thinking about Jacoby Brissett, because it may end up being some Jacoby Brissett. Now I've got my next team. This is called Why So Gray? Let me read it off. It is a 2-4-8-2 build. I'm in round 17. My quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert. My running backs, Breece Hall, Tajay Spears, Tyler Algier, Jaleel McLaughlin. I need something more at the running back position. My receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Cooper Kupp, Xavier Worthy, Lad McConkey, Jamison Williams, Rashid Shaheed, Quentin Johnson, and Demarcus Robinson. So I've got a very good team. I have some Rams and Cardinals set up because I have Kyler there, and there's Marvin Harrison. Cooper Kupp is part of that game build as well. Jamison Williams is part of that. Oh, wait, no. Jamison Williams is not in that build. Sorry. I'm confusing Jamison Williams with the combo of the 49ers and the Lions. Some of my blues and my reds I'm getting mixed up. Demarcus Robinson is part of that game stack for the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. And then, of course, I've got Trey McBride and Tyler Conklin as my tight ends. So I'm very excited with the team that I have. I am set at tight end. Trey McBride is my stud. My second tight end as Tyler Conklin. I am happy to get the touchdown equity from him via Aaron Rodgers. But week in, week out, I'm looking for Trey McBride. All I want on week 11 is for Tyler Conklin to have a representative amount of points to fill out the tight end spot. And then I am set there. I want Trey McBride. He is my ticket to winning a tournament. So what I'm going to do now with my running backs, again, Breece Hall, Tajay Spears, Tyler Algier, Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm going to go with some Eric Gray. Eric Gray is catching some buzz for the New York Giants. We all think that it may be Tyrone Tracy, but it may not necessarily be Tracy. It very well might be some Eric Gray. So just to differentiate, do something different. Again, we're in the 17th round. I'm going to click on some Eric Gray, get him into my portfolio. And now my running backs are Breece Hall, Tajay Spears, Tyler Algier, Jaleel McLaughlin, Eric Gray. I may end up, as it's a 2-5-8-2 build, I still don't love the running back room. I may end up going with one more running back. I love my wide receivers. I'm very happy at tight end. I'm happy at quarterback. So I will just have a decision in round 18 with what to do with running back and receiver. Let's go to another draft. This one is called Fear Zamir. So I've got it set up. It's a 2-1-4-0 build. So two quarterbacks. It's Anthony Richardson and Joe Burrow. So I like that combo. My one running back, Joe Mixon. All right, I wasn't confused in trying to stack Joe Mixon with Joe Burrow. I know Mixon is on the Texans, but take a look. 59 ADP, Joe Mixon falls 5 spots, 265, so I'll take it. Not a crazy value, but Joe Mixon just there and available. My receivers, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., and T. Higgins. No tight ends again. So here we have Joe Burrow stacked with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You love to see it. And then I have Anthony Richardson stacked with Michael Pittman Jr. I'm very happy about that. At this stage in the draft, as I only have one running back and I've got the 4 receivers, I don't feel pressed at receiver. I am pushing tight end, and I'm also happy with Anthony Richardson and Joe Burrow. I'm going to click on some Zamir White. I have also in the queue at running back where I could go DeAndre Swift, James Conner, Jaylen Warren. I've clicked so much Jaylen Warren. I've clicked enough representative amount of DeAndre Swift. And of course, I've had some James Conner, not as much near as Trey Benson. But here we have Zamir White. I haven't clicked near enough of him. So I always like to do something different because I don't want to get stuck into a pattern. I like to preach that to other people, but I also like to apply that myself. So I am going to click on some Zamir White. So my team now, my build is Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Zamir White. My 4 receivers, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., and T. Higgins. Let's go to another draft, and I am in round 18. I've titled this one Tank. My 2 quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Jordan Love. It's a 2-5-8-2 build. My 2 tight ends are Travis Kelce and Luke Musgrave. So I have Allen and Love stacked with the tight ends, Kelce and Musgrave. My running backs, Jonathan Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, Zach Charbonnet, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Roschon Johnson. My receivers are Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Romeo Doubs, Khalil Shakir, Luke McCaffrey, DJ Chark. Well, stacked with Love, I have Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and then for Josh Allen, it is Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. So I really love the stacks that I have on this team. And then what I have in round 18, I have Tank at the top of my queue. I have not drafted much or at all of any Tank Bigsby. Been very much a huge fader of him. Now, what sense does it make, though, for me to entirely box out Tank Bigsby when, in fact, he has been getting some praise from the coaching staff? I really like the Jacksonville Jaguars as a entire offense next year. Who's to say that Bigsby may not be gaining some good experience, showing out well in OTAs and doing things day to day in the building that I don't see. So there could be some improvement there. It's not like I'm taking some huge stand here. And to what I spoke to earlier about Zamir White, I'm trying to do something different. So here I am. I'm just going to add Tank Bigsby to round out my team. So it is a 2-6-8-2 build. Again, it is Josh Allen and Jordan Love, stacked with Travis Kelce and Luke Musgrave. And I believe I spoke to the tight end correlation. It was just Jordan Love with Luke Musgrave. Kelce is not with Allen. I was thinking of Kincaid. Apologies there. My running backs are Jonathan Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, Zach Charbonnet, Jaleel McLaughlin, Roschon Johnson, and Tank Bigsby. Then I noticed there I have Lloyd with Love as well. So I'm happy about that pick as well. Of course, Josh Jacobs is the guy for right now. My receiver room, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jaden Reed to go with Jordan Love, Keon Coleman with Josh Allen, Romeo Doubs with Love, Shakir with Allen, Luke McCaffrey, and DJ Chark. Let's see if we can do one or two more drafts. I have the Hound Dog. This looks like a Custodian quarterback build that I have. Right now it's a 1-3-5-2 build. I have Dak Prescott at quarterback. My custodial build potentially set up is Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs, and Travis Kelce. I entirely missed Patrick Mahomes. Somebody, in fact, took Patrick Mahomes right before I believe I took Xavier Worthy, and I just leaned into the Chiefs with the thought that I can get Carson Wentz much later to try and clean up this team. I also have a little bit working with Tyler Lockett and Zach Charbonnet for the Seattle Seahawks, where I could possibly go after Sam Howell as well. So my anchor quarterback, my custodian quarterback here is Dak Prescott. My anchor tight end in this build is Travis Kelce. I have Jake Ferguson stacked with Dak Prescott. So it's a good situation there where I'm set at tight end. My running backs are, again, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Robinson Jr., Zach Charbonnet. My receivers, Drake London, Chris Olave. I spoke to Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Tyler Lockett. So I have a lot set up with this team. The beauty is, if I'm going to push quarterback to round 17 and 18, I only have to click on running back and receiver from here on out, as I have my two tight ends in Travis Kelce and Jake Ferguson. So at the top of my queue, I'm going to try and catch up at running back. Now, speaking of being different, I spoke to Zamir White before. I spoke to Tank Bigsby. Here I'm presented with Ezekiel Elliott and Jerome Ford at the top of the queue. I'm inclined, my instinct is to go Ezekiel Elliott with Dak Prescott. Hey, just go along with the Cowboys, right? Get some game correlation there for the Dallas Cowboys. But in fact, I have seen for me, I have a low exposure to Jerome Ford. I don't necessarily have anything high on Ezekiel Elliott exposure-wise, but I really don't have much Jerome Ford. So I'm going to click on Jerome Ford. He's something different for my builds, for my portfolio, and maybe he has an excellent season out there. Nick Chubb, we don't know what the prognosis will be on him for the entirety of his season. So why not click a little bit of Jerome Ford? If we like Deontay Foreman in round 18 late, Jerome Ford here is not a bad pick necessarily in round 12. He may not lose my tournament. He may not win it, but there's a chance that he could spike big time from here. But in round 12, it's not really that high of a cost. Let's do one more draft. And then this one says the puppy, SuperFlex, but go Q. I made little notes to myself. I have my two quarterbacks are Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels at the 11-14 wraparound picks, Devon Achane, and Brandon Ayuk. And then I have Trey McBride. So it is a 2-1-1-1 build. I have two quarterbacks. I feel way less pressure to go quarterback here. And I have Achane as my anchor running back. And then Brandon Ayuk, my receiver, Trey McBride. So I'm very happy with Trey McBride. I don't feel pressure to go tight end. I don't feel pressure to go receiver here either. So the note that I made to myself was go with the Q. Travis Etienne is right here at the top, 55 ADP. Right now I'm at pick 62. I am going to click on Travis Etienne I am not worried about trying to push wide receiver. I actually like picking here. My thought process going into Love and Daniels 11 and 14 was essentially the price point on Packers receivers and Commanders receivers is going to be so low and spread throughout the draft that I feel like Love and Daniels are two very good quarterbacks to build around in the Superflex format. So I am going to go with Travis Etienne. And here we go. Another combo. I spoke to Jonathan Taylor with Travis Etienne earlier in the show. Now I have Etienne with Etienne. Etienne and Etienne in one quarterback contest. I am not clicking the two of them on a team. So I really like this combo now that I have with Etienne and Travis Etienne. So my team I'll read out again. I've got Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels. My two running backs are Etienne and Travis Etienne. My receiver is Brandon Ayuk. And then I have Trey McBride. So the pressure is off at tight end, although getting Sanat, Ertz, Musgrave, or Kraft to go along with Daniels and Love will not be difficult for me. I feel really good about my running back room. And then, of course, down my queue, I've got Packers receivers, Jaden Reed at 84, Christian Watson at 110, Romeo Doubs at 135, Dontavian Wicks at 150. And then, of course, Marshawn Lloyd is there at 154. I've got all these Packers queued up in Star Life here. And then look at the weapons. Terry McLaurin is a 77 ADP. He may not fall back to me, but there's a possibility there. Luke McCaffrey, Ben Sinnott, and Han Dotson is 158. And then between Robinson Jr. and Eckler, Brian Robinson Jr. is 127. Austin Eckler is 137. So they're 10 picks apart at ADP. I feel confident that I can get one of them to pair with Jaden Daniels. So these are just some teams that I've ripped through. Hopefully you've been enjoying these drafts. And this has been Best Ball Study Hall. I've been Jeremiah Retzlaff. Tune in, Coach Retzlaff 1 on X, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.